All right, vote counting is still underway. I want to give you an update now, so let's bring in our Chief Election Analyst, Tom Connell. Tom, I've got to say, terrific effort on Saturday night. Not the result I was hoping for, but you called it beautifully and kept us across all the detail. I want to get an update now, if I can, on the state of the House, please.
Yeah, so at the moment, 86 confirmed for Labor. There are 15 still up for grabs. I think the big stories are from here. Look, there are quite a few opportunities for Labor to win a few and get up to 90 even. That would probably be about their benchmark from here. But the question will be, what can the coalition get up to if they're rebuilding? You know, what are you rebuilding from? And then as well, look at Climate 200 there. 4 seats. There are 2 seriously in doubt for them at least. There are 3 possibilities for them to win, but all really tight. And the Greens for now are on 0. They're probably going to end up for 1 or 2. There's nothing certain right now. That's why we haven't called any. If we look as well, I'll just give a quick look at some of the seats still up for grabs. You can see some of these very tight margins. Bullwinkle, this new seat Labor notionally holds, it's 0.05% up. Goldstein as well, Longman, Bradfield and Kooyong. So these are probably all battles we're relatively familiar with. Why we still have a lot of outstanding seats at this stage is because these are the contests we're not. Being fought between an independent and Labor with a big swing against it there. Bendigo is Labor and the Nationals. Menzies as well is something we're probably going to see the Liberal Party lose to the Labor Party. And then again, Fremantle versus an independent, and Monash is a really messy contest with nobody with a particularly high vote. So there's still quite a number of seats undeclared at this stage because some of these contests are basically brand new ones. Peter, are waiting for some of the 3 candidate preferred and 2 candidate preferred counts to actually progress.
Some I've watched it and looked closely at the AEC and obviously listened to you too as well. The seat of Melbourne, Adam Band, Goldstein and Kooyong, they looked like they were staying with the incumbents. Income postals and more pre-poll numbers. It's not looking like that though, Tom. What can you tell us about those 3 specifically?
Really interesting contest. Let's go to all of them right now. Going into Melbourne. First of all, the seat of Melbourne itself. Now, don't worry about this 14.3% margin. It's not real. Why? Because the count done so far on 2 candidate preferred is only 4.8% and it's postal ballots. We've reset things to just go actual numbers now because that's the way we usually are at this stage of the count. But this is just postal ballot. Where we are more interested in this primary vote, you can see the 5.6% margin for the Greens, a swing against Adam Band and a big swing towards the Labor Party. On these numbers, with the preference flow we're seeing so far, this is bad news for Adam Band. It's going to be quite close. We need to see, though, some of how those preference distributions are going with the on-the-day vote. He's going to be heard a bit further by postal ballots out there, but Melbourne has a lot of absent and declaration pre-poll, which might bring it back. So best guess on this right now, honestly, it's basically a coin toss because we just don't have enough further information. Where we are seeing the picture emerge a little bit more solidly, let's go to the southeast here and the seat of Goldstein. You can see here we still have, for the moment, Zoe Daniel in lead by 95 votes. That's all. So this is the 2-party preferred. You can see right now she's in the lead by those 95 votes. The issue right now for Zoe Daniel, and there was victory claimed, I should point out, on Saturday night. The issue is the postal vote that's coming in right now. Nearly 10,000 votes are in. That's about half as our best guess. We know how many applications have been put out there. I think you'll get another 10, maybe a bit more than that, 10,000 postal votes. On the 10,000 so far, Tim Wilson has a lead in those votes of 3,000. In other words, if that keeps happening, he ends up with a lead of 3,000. Zoe Daniel won't be able to make that back on the absent and other votes left over. So I just want to see one more batch going that strongly, and then I'll say Zoe Daniel doesn't really have a path there in Goldstein. Kooyong is a tighter situation in terms of the votes to come. Let's go in here and find Kooyong. So here we can see it's a similar story, Peter, but closer margins. So the lead for Monique Ryan is bigger, much bigger than Zoe Daniels, of a lead there of about 1,400 votes. Again, the enemy for her at the moment is this postal vote. So we go in here and we see the way the postal is flowing so far, and we can see the lead she has in the postal so far is about 2,400. So remember that lead, 1,400? We think this is about half of the postal counted again, maybe even a little bit more. If the postals keep flowing at that rate and she gets those 2,400 again, she ends up with a lead of about 1,000. I think that would be too much for Monique Ryan. She'll get some back on those absents, but if the postal rate slows down a little bit, then it could just be too close to call. We could be talking about 50 votes between these two at the end. So we need to see that next batch. We'll see when it comes in, and also see how the absent votes are going. If they're not going towards Monique Ryan, she's in a lot of trouble.
Thank you, Tom. We'll leave there. I'll catch up with you tomorrow night if I can about the Senate, because that's getting very interesting as well.